お前の道はここで終わりだ。見せてその先の力というもの。ブリーチ、ブレイブソウルズ。
Alright guys, this is your boy the Death Smasher and welcome back to yet another Bleach Brave Souls video, and today we are back again with yet another top 10 list of characters, and this time we are going to be updating the speed attribute because it has gotten a very huge buff. It just keeps on getting buffed even ever since we got Macy with the release of Millerose and the new 1000-year Bloworetsu, that it just deserves another top 10 list of characters. So we may as well go ahead and get right into it and talk about who is number one from the bottom of the list, starting it off with the honorable mentions and then rise ourselves up to the top. So with that being said and done, let us begin. So starting off with the honorable mentions, I picked out Gantenbein, Maid Orihime, and the Spirits Are Forever with you, Jushiro. Oh Jesus, they've actually dropped. Oh my goodness, especially Jushiro. But yeah, this character is nothing too crazy. The only reason why he is even on the list is the fact that he has the Power Link Slot Potion plus 5 skill, and you can make this character link up with anyone and become a Link Slot Potion character. So it can be the likes of Yachiru, Tensa. Oh, Tensa's already a potion character, mind you. But like Okiora, Uryu, you name it. This character is actually going to be quite useful to have as a Link, but as a character, he ain't exactly the greatest. Frenzy plus 1, 40% Berserker, this, Laceration on everything, and the kit sucks. He's got an AoE in front, 625, SA2, 725 radius. I don't know what this is. Okay, it's a lunge, alright, okay. So it's basically 1000-year blower Tekiyama's SA2, but without the Havoc, and then the SA3 is White's SA1 without the Havoc, so yeah, he has a very mediocre kit. He is nothing too crazy to talk about. He is just a Link. Orihime, she is a booster. She does have the booster skill, as you guys can see right here, so an additional 43% focus that you can give to your characters. I do see this character still being pretty damn good for epic raids, guild quests. Like, I do think that this character's value is just gonna continue to be useful as an actual character as time goes by. But other than that, the kit, nothing too crazy, 18% shave, full screen, and considering she only has Frenzy plus 1 with Berserker 40, no increased status element chance, no 80% SP buff, this character is kind of lackluster in terms of an overall character. Even though she does have this, which is pretty good, it does lessen the cooldown for the SA2, but she's not really the greatest because she is held back by that SA1. It's like as if you're playing as the Power Baragan, which isn't really all that good. And then Southie Jushiro, he still is a good normal attack character. He has Flurry plus 1 with 80% Bruiser as a whole, well, 60% plus this, as you guys can see, and boost on the second control attack, gives out multi-bearers, and can drain. The only issue is that this guy doesn't have double status omens. This guy doesn't have the 80% attack buff, and NAD units are just dying. Like, they have not been updated, and the only relevant NAD character has been pretty much 1000-year blower Aizen, and we just keep on getting more and more and more broken SP characters that this guy just isn't top 10 anymore, which is sad. And I actually like this character too. So, still good. He still autos most of the game's content, but other than that, we just have a lot better characters to use overall. Great for autoing, just not that great for, you know, manual playing and doing a lot of the harder content. But now it's time to start off with the number 10 list. The Mighty Have Fallen, Asashiro. This guy aged pretty poorly as a character just by only having one status element being Drain, Frenzy plus 1, Berserker 40, Havoc of 20%, 80% SP buff. Like, he has good skills, it's just the kit is what really killed the character, and not having increased status element chance. This guy is basically Christmas Noel, but way worse, even though he does have the double killers, and he was best Oranka killer until 7th anniversary Uryu came out, and he was also immune to every single status element, and dodged 50% Oranka holo damage. But the kit again sucked. He had the Dark Rookie SA1, but nerfed with the 30% mag, not good for inflicting status elements. The only good strong attack for inflicting status elements is the Vortex into pushback attack, and then a full screen SA3. He's just a mediocre character, nothing too crazy, but better than most of the characters that have pretty much come out in the past. But yeah, he's on the bottom of the list, as you guys can see right here. At number 9, I decided to pretty much keep this guy in and buff him up a bit. the past Aizen, he is basically a much better Azushiro with the only minor instances of not having Havoc, not having increased status element chance, and not having a better killer. However, this guy just had a much better kit to the point that he's actually better than Azushiro for a lot of content. And considering that they did just recently nerf Limit Breaker Quest on the third slot, let's say the next time Limit Breaker Quest comes back, enemy mobs are gonna be power attribute enemies and have no rules. You can use this Aizen just fine and still be quite good. But yeah, Guard Break plus hidden enemies, status element spiritual pressure boost of 80%, frenzy plus 1 with Berserker 40, damage inflict at full stam 20, and on top of that, increased strong attack damage of 40% and is immune to poison and has sprint plus 1. He's also a very damn good GQ side unit because he has the 2500 length beam with the 850 width, so more range than normal considering this guy doesn't have Havoc. Suction Vortex on the SA1, beam, 850 with 2500, and then the SA3 is full screen. Other than that, just a good standard character, and I think that this guy, actually fine enough, aged better than Azushiro, which is why I'm keeping him on the list. I might be a bit biased towards him, but I just think that he is an incredible character, for damn sure. Up next at number 8 has to pretty much be Akon. He is a good farmer at the end of the day. He does farm Power Link Salt Potions and Super Pots. Also has increased status summon chance against power attribute enemies. And so far in IT, he is pretty much proven to be a very good character at the end of the day. The only difference is, let's say they decide to block out Burn, he's only going to be able to inflict status summons on the SA2 and SA3 and not the special and the first. Whereas if they block out the opposite status element, you can still make use of the SA1, but SA2 and SA3 is going to suck balls. But other than that, great character. You can buff speed characters and Soul Reapers as a whole. Berserker 40, Frenzy plus 1, Havoc of 20%, increased status element chance. He just needed 80% SP buff and he would have been a lot better, and I think he would have been higher in the list. But other than that, pretty damn good. He does have the Quincy Killer, which kind of holds him back, but honestly, it's kind of irrelevant when you have increased status element chance and you can do pretty high damage at the end of the day. Innate abilities, Guard Break, Freeze Immunity, Sprint plus 1, and then the SAs, 750 AoE in front, nothing wrong with that. SA2 kind of sucks. It's Sun's SA3, but as an SA2, Lunar New Year's Rookie is SA1, and then the third strong attack is full screen. Just a good character, nothing too crazy, and funny enough, I still don't have him, but I still keep him on the list. Up next is Christmas Noel, who is pretty much going to be the better farmer, but only when she has Killer. When she doesn't have Killer, resort to using Akon in that kind of case, even though there's a better character than Noel, which we're going to cover soon. But still one of the greater nukers for no affiliation mobs, even though we just got White and Macy as a character. She's still good. She still is actually quite good, minus the kit for Inheritance Trials, but other than that, Berserker 40, Bombardment, Frenzy plus 1, increased status summon chance against power attribute hollows and no affiliation enemies, should have been universal against every single mob, but most importantly does the same stuff as Akon, being able to grind out power Link Salt Potions and power Super Pots. So very good, but has 80% SP buff and has Bombardment, making her a really solid nuker. Guard Break, Havoc of 20%, and Sprinter plus 1. She's got the same kit as Azushiro, but better because she at least has the 18% shave. Way better than what Azushiro has. Little to no chance of inflicting status elements with that one, whereas this one, because it has multiple hits, you can do it. Same SA2 as Azushiro, and then the SA3 is full screen. So yeah, nothing too crazy about the character, just a decent unit to use as a whole. So yeah, she definitely aged better as a character, which is kind of surprising to say the least, considering this character has a full range collision kit. Number 6, we have ourselves Mila Rose. Now, this character is not really going to be meant for farming Inheritance Trials, but for Epic Raids, whew, she's going to be one of the best characters to use as a whole, because look at what she has. She is a Soul Reaper killer for starters, has Frenzy plus 1 with Havoc of 20%, Berserker 40, a Ronker resonance skill, so the more Ronkers are on the quest, the more damage Mila Rose is going to be able to do, just like the 3rd anniversary Ulquiorra. Full stamina damage boost of 20%, damage to lacerated enemies of plus 60%, devastation 40, and has an additional 30% melee damage with power Link Slot Potions of plus 10. So yeah, this is going to be a better farmer than Noelle and Akon for when it comes to normal Link Slot Potions. She is the unit you want to use, and her kit is actually better too. But look at this. She has Guard Break and has Lacerator, the map-wide AoE skill of being able to inflict laceration without doing anything, and has Sprint plus 1. The kit is good. She's got a 3k length beam with a 1020 width, 870 lunge, just like the 1000-year blower Retsu and Teki Yamamoto, and then suction vortex on the SA3. Basically the same as White. You're never gonna pretty much miss with that SA3, and considering you're gonna be proccing status elements, it's gonna be quite good. Easily. I don't think she's gonna be that great for IT compared to Akon and Noelle. However, for farming normal link slot potions and just having a way better kit, yeah, this is definitely the character to use for sure. She's fantastic. She's amazing. Nothing wrong with that. Just that I wish that she had double status elements. But again, she's not an IT character, so I take it for what it is. At number 5, I decided to bump him down a bit because of Limit Break request, but Tensa Zangetsu. Now, this character is still an overall cheat code for Inheritance Trials, just because of the fact that he has Frenzy +1, Havoc of 20%, Berserker 60%, an additional 30% melee damage in co-op quests, can pierce through Iron Skin, and then has the 100% pure damage. Because this is a character that doesn't inflict status elements, you're just going to be able to do straight up 100% damage directly alongside Frenzy +1 and Berserker 60. Like, it's still so damn good, and has the Power Link Slot Potion skill of +5, Power Droplet Drop skill of 30%, and then the Super Link Slot Potion skill of +5. Yeah, this character is easily the better farmer out of all the farmers that we have in the game for speed. Better than Noelle, better than Mila Rose, except for epic raids, and then of course better than Akon in this kind of case. And the fact that he can pierce through Iron Skin, it's broken, and he also has one of the best kits too. But other than that, also has Guard Break, Fire Immunity, and Sprinter +1. He has a 3k length beam with 1020 width, 960 in front, and then the SA3 is full screen. Other than that, marvelous character, fantastic for co-op content. I just think that maybe he should have gone, like, I don't know, Rampage skill back then, the gauge mechanic, but for what he's meant to do, since he's a farmer, it works out just fine, really, and that's what you're mainly gonna be use this character for. That is what he is designed to do, and he's a literal cheat code. So, yeah. At number 4, 7th Anniversary Uryu decided to buff him up again because of Limit Break request, and I do consider this character to be better than Tensa just because of the fact that, let's take a look at everything else. Double killers of Aranker and no affiliation. In this upcoming Limit Breaker quest, because they are buffing speed, melee, no affiliation killers, this is the character that you want to use for this month's Limit Breaker quest alone. But besides that, he does have Frenzy +2 with Havoc of 20%, Guard Break plus hit hidden enemies, increased status element chance against power attribute enemies, double status elements of weakening and drain, so you're gonna have a high HP count at all times as long as you use strong attacks with this character. He also has the speed attribute character strong attack damage of 20% with Berserker 20. It's stupid, like, he's got crazy multipliers, devastation of 40%, and whenever you activate the gauge mechanic, you will reduce your strong attack cooldowns by 30%, which is actually quite broken. He can debuff on the Soul Bomb as well. Can recover 20% stamina in between quests, has Long Stride and Sprinter +2, and he also has some gauge skills of Berserker 100% and damage reduction of 50% whenever you activate it as well, and it's stupid. Like, honestly, this character is still so goddamn stupid that he's usable. Like, he's a year old now, and he is still one of the best speed characters in the game. It's stupid. 3k length beam, just like Mila Rose. He has the lunge, which is basically full screen. It starts off at an 870 radius and goes to 1080. Great. It covers a lot of range. And then his SA3 is a 1200 radius all around him. Yeah, fantastic character. He's great. Definitely amazing. And it's good to see that this guy is getting his value up by a good bit. And who knows, with the fact that we're getting a new Guild Quest difficulty, his value is probably going to skyrocket even further. But that has yet to be seen. And up next at number 3, ooh, he's not number 1 anymore, or number 2. Ulquiorra. Ulquiorra is basically the power 1000-year blower Yamamoto of the speed attribute, albeit his nuke is actually a bit weaker because of the simple matter of fact that he doesn't have weakened defense. But is it bad? No. Like, he still is able to sub-1 every type of Holo GQ just fine, and can sub-1 Espada GQ when at 5-5. And if you have Dordoni, you might be able to sub-1 that with having less copies even at 3-5, just to give you guys an example. But anyways, he has the Team Party Speed attribute Aranker damage to status element affected enemies of +40%, really damn good because it is going to factor the Soul Bomb damage. The same skill as Mila Rose, the more Arankers that are on the field, the more damage this guy is going to do, and Berserker 40%. So he already has 50% Berserker on base, has Bombardment, complete status immunity, Debilitator, Devastation 40, Frenzy +1, Havoc of 20%, and Status Summon Spiritual Pressure Boost. This guy is one of the GQ Kings alongside Yamamoto and White. Like, easily he is gonna be the character that you want to 5-5, and he's a premium pool character too. Like, it's crazy. It's good. It's insane. He is only missing increased status summon chance, but what you can do with this character is stupid still. Like, Long Stride, Sharpshooter, and Sprint +2. You cannot go wrong with that. And for Extreme Co-op, he's actually going to be amazing because he can nullify resistances on top of having Guard Break. And then the attacks, he's got the 3k length beam just like Uryu. SA2 is going to be the 750 into Tracking Vortex. If you guys aren't familiar, it's the same SA2 that the 8th anniversary Ichigo has. He was the very first character to get this type of strong attack, and it works out pretty damn fine despite not having too much range. I personally have grown to love this strong attack more and more and more, despite it not being the 960 into Homing Vortex. And then the third strong attack is full screen. So yeah, very powerful character, and it's great to see that my boy Ulk got the remake that he deserved. Like, I love this character, numero uno favorite character. And now we have left the top 2 spots, and I have to be 100% honest with you guys. I have to tie these 2 characters. So for number 1 and number 2, it has to go to Yachiru Unohana and Macy right here, because what they share is very similar for Limit Breaker Quest and for Guild Quests. Now, that being said, I do think that Macy has a bit more of an edge in Guild Quests than with Retsu, because she doesn't need to build up her damage. She already has the multiplier that is going to help out with nuking in Guild Quests. And then Retsu right here, she doesn't have the same stuff as Macy. However, she is going to be able to build up 100% damage to pretty much everything as long as you kill the enemies, which is actually quite insane. So I'm just going to cover all the characters immediately. So starting off with Yachiru Unohana, very first ever 6-star character to come with double soul traits. So if you don't like using this character, you can use her as a link for Macy, for Ul, for Uryu, for whatever reason. However, I don't see myself doing so because I love this Retsu. I think she's fantastic. Soul Reaper and Captain Killer. It's about time that we got ourselves a new Captain Killer, and she might be able to nuke Captain. That is yet to be seen, because we have yet to see someone with a 5-5 Retsu be able to do that, but she might be able to do it. But looking at everything else, complete status immunity, damage inflicted at full stam 20%, Debilitator of +5 seconds, Devastation 40%, Frenzy +2, Havoc of 20%, Long Stride, Marauder, she can nullify melee resistance and has Guard Break, has Poise. I'm not a big fan of the skill, should have been increased status summon chance, and then the Rampage skill, which is basically 2% damage on base for all of the attacks, including the Soul Bomb. Every enemy you kill will increase the damage by 2%. So one enemy killed is 4%. Kill 50 enemies and it'll stack itself all the way up to 100%, and that's going to be the maximum damage output that you can do. And of course has the 80% SP buff. She only has weakening on her entire kit, with the Soul Bomb also having an insta-kill mechanic. I love it. It's very reminiscent of the Heart 1000-Year Global Retsu, which is actually crazy to think about. Innate abilities, she does come armed with reduced strong attack cooldown of 6%, Team Party stamina recovery of 20%, and Sprinter +2. So she is going to have way more cooldowns than the likes of Macy. However, she does have the trap mechanic on the SA3, meaning that her cooldown is actually going to be slightly longer than Macy, but thanks to the skill, it's going to help out even more. And it's just going to give Retsu a fair advantage with the SA1 and SA2 in terms of being able to clear faster than her. 3k length beam with 1020 width, the 870 lunge. It is a bit weaker than the 7th anniversary Uryu, but honestly, it's fine. It still covers enough range to the point that you can kill enemy mobs. And then the SA3, 1170 beyond full screen AoE distant third strong attack, which is amazing. It finally makes its return after, guess who was the last character to have it? Arena Halibel. It's been that long, so it's nice to see this again. And then after that third strong attack has been popped off, she spawns in a 690 trap, which is going to allow the trap to easily get the 80% SP buff and weaken the enemy mobs. So pretty good for Guild Quest, pretty good for IT. It can definitely have a pretty solid use, and it's just basically Miri's mechanic but completely perfected, which is great. I like it. I like to see what they've done with this character right here. Now let's just take a look at Macy right here. Now she does have different killers compared to Retsu, but she does have paralysis and weakening. Right now we do not have an IT where weakening is completely nerfed. So both Retsu and Macy are 100% safe in that regard for inheritance trials. Now, let's just take a look at what she does. Now, while Retsu does have the advantage of being able to have a higher cooldown, she has this, which will allow the strong attacks to come back faster when moving in between the maps. Speed attribute strong attack recharge of 20%. It's the same skill that Quincy Ichigo has, where it does lessen the cooldown of the strong attacks when moving in between maps. Berserker 40%. Now keep in mind, Retsu does have full stam 20 and Berserker 20, so it does scale a bit higher in Retsu's favor, but it's still quite good nonetheless. Bruise of 20, which is pretty much a throwaway ability. Damage to paralyzed and weakened enemies of plus 40%, which is going to help with scale the soul bomb damage. Devastation of 40%, status element spiritual pressure boost of 80%, frenzy plus 2, and weakened defense. So the damage is pretty much similar, but Retsu is going to be able to outdamage Macy on all of her strong attacks, which is actually crazy to even think about. Then the Soul Tree, Havoc of 20%, Sharpshooter, and Spurn plus 1. So overall, really nice set of skills, but you guys can already see the difference. Macy is going to have the better Soul Bomb. However, Retsu, on the other hand, is also immune to all status elements, has a much better strong attack damage output. There's just a lot of stuff that varies between the two that it's hard to say who's number one between the two. Honestly speaking, even I can't figure it out. I don't even know if I can make a proper comparison between the two, honestly, and it might even end up being a tie regardless. That being said, Macy's essays. She has the 18% shave on the essay one, so yeah, for those of you guys that hate it, yeah, sorry to say that. But honestly speaking, with the fact that Quincy Ichigo and the 8th anniversary Ichigo have managed to pretty much nicely buff the SA1, it's now pretty good and a lot more usable for damn sure, able to kill enemy mobs and can one-shot. So like, I don't see this SA being that much of a problem when given either Frenzy plus 3 with 20% FSD or Frenzy plus 2 with 80% SP buff. Like, I just think that people need to stop hating on that. SA2, she does have the clear advantage, 960 into Homing Vortex, and then a 1200 full screen SA3. So yeah, the kits do vary. Retsu does have a much better SA1 than Macy. However, Macy does have a much better SA2. And then the SA3, it all comes down to personal preference. Macy will be able to get the SA3 faster than Retsu. However, you're not going to be able to aim it like Retsu. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to personal preference. So yeah, it's so hard to say who is between numero uno of these two characters. I think they're heavily tied for damn sure. Like, there's just no complaints. You can say that Retsu is numero uno best speed character and you guys would be right. You can say that Macy is numero uno best speed character and you guys would be right too. It's hard. It's actually hard to say who's number one. And if I were to give my own personal opinion, fuck it. I think Retsu is number one compared to Macy because I love 1000 Year Blow Retsu, but that's just my personal opinion. So for you guys, it could be Macy, and for me, it could be Retsu. It all varies down at the end of the day. So let me know if you guys agree or disagree with this whole entire list, because it's actually hard to rank up these characters for damn sure. Like, they're just very similar in terms of what they can do for overall kits, strong attacks, and everything else. But yeah, that being said, I think both Retsu and Macy are going to be fantastic for Limit Breaker Quest on the same level even. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and hit the bell notification so that way you guys are up to date with my most recent videos. So yeah, we will be updating all attributes this time around, so expect one for Tech, even though that's going to be left out last because it didn't get too many buffs. Power is going to be coming up, Heart, as well as Mind especially. So yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So have a good one, lads. Peace out. Sayonara.